And I don't really know at this point if they apprehended the guys that did it, because I didn't actually know the guys. I went with a friend of mine, but it was like, once they got the shooting, you're not looking at faces. You're trying to protect your life. So that's kind of how that went. But so I don't know the whole outcome of the case at this point. But I know that, that's what led me to the violation. And from that point on, with the violation, they sent me to Ryan Road Correctional Facility. And they was using it as...
That's in the city of Detroit.
Yes, that's right on the east side of Detroit. They got Mile Road, and then they got Ryan Road.
These
two prisons like right behind each other.
In the city, like
in Detroit, in the city, in the hood.
And there was that infamous incident at Ryan about 10 years before you were there.
Yes, like, the big escape. It's the second biggest escape in Michigan's history. 10 guys escaped. They threw the guys over the fence. Mark McLeod and his friends orchestrated it, and they was able to, they escaped. 10 of them escaped. 3 orchestrated it, but the other 7 guys on the yard at the time just went with them because the gates was open.
So that caused them to change who was at that prison.
Yeah, they, the person. I mean, as far as the correctional officers and just all that type of stuff. So they actually closed the prison down after that big escape, like, shortly after that, and just made it strictly for parole violations and health purposes for prisoners that had, extensive, cancer and that type of deal. So Ryan Road was considered as used for that special programming, parole violators, and health. So once I got there, that's the first place you go before you're found guilty on your actual violation.
So you go straight,
whatever that is.
You don't even go to the county. You kind of go from the precinct to there.
Wherever you was caught at, you go straight to there.
Oh, you don't even go to the county.
As soon as they find you out, you on parole, you going there. Sometimes you might stop through the county first, but for the most part, a lot of people, once they find out you're on parole anyway. So, after I got there, I noticed the yards is different for regular prisons because, you can't.
Because there's people that might be only in there for a week or 2 or a month.
Yes. You might go in there and they see a parole violation ain't that serious and they overcrowd, they kick you out the next day. Or you got a serious parole violation, you got to go to Jackson after that, which was me.
So the environment, even though it's prison guys and some are doing life, it's not. The atmosphere is kind of different.
Yeah, because of the guys that they, like, when they closed the prison, they left a few guys there. So, from the actual prison. And the guys that they left there were guys they considered as good inmates. They didn't want no rah-rah. And they, and a lot of guys that's doing life in prison don't want no trouble. So they will leave you in situations, even if you got life, they'll leave you in those situations where, it's more comfortable and they know you got life. You ain't trying to cause no trouble. You trying to stay in the best living conditions that you in. So that was kind of the vibe around Ryan at the time. Like the guys that was there that did have life, they was there to get paid to take care of the health concerns.
Oh, so there were dying inmates being sent there for hospice and for serious medical.
Yes.
So the lifers were there as orderlies and...
Yeah, the lifers were there like to work in the kitchen because they had to eat a certain type of food. So, they kept some lifers back that knew how to cook this certain type of food and knew how to work in the kitchen. So they got them lifers. Then they got the lifers that's tutors. They kept them there too for the guys.
So it's good inmates and it's people just passing through. There's no real structure.
Not at all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm there for the parole violation. So even if you're guilty, you got to go through steps. So it might have took a couple weeks to go through the process to get you to Jackson quarantine. So during that process, you go to the yard, you still get your recreational time. You get your couple hours a day in the morning and at night. So, at one point, me and a friend of mine, we were walking. I was smoking weed at the time. So I'm like, where's the weed? Who got some weed? He like, this is not like a regular place. They don't have weed around here because everybody's going and coming.
When you were, before you got out of prison, before that out, when you were like in Macomb, like you said you could just buy weed from the guards?
Yeah, weed was accessible. Like, it was nothing. Like, nobody looked at it as wrong.
So you could just be like, hey, let's get some weed today, like you're on the street, let's go buy some weed?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part. Sometimes it would be like, dang, man, they ain't come in yet. Or
What?
we gotta wait till tomorrow.
Usually-
But usually, it's there.